What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world, but keep the sky on your mind.
Clicking the live button now.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another FPVFC Town Hall. So, sorry for the late start. Dave was being a little chatty, but as always, but that's why we love Dave.
Yeah, how often do we actually start at the top of the hour anyway?
I mean, most
close.
Fine, yeah, close. All right, guys. So I've got a couple of news articles here, and we'll go through a couple of them and see what we think. So first up, let me get everything going as usual. We'll start off with some fun stuff. So world's fastest drone hits 657 kilometers per hour and crushes the Guinness record. So if you've been following this, there's two teams of people that have been kind of going back and forth on this. A team from Australia and a team from South Africa, and they've been kind of going back and forth. So this is the Peregrine V4, built by South African father-son duo Mike and Luke Bell. Just claimed the Guinness World Record for fastest battery-powered quadcopter at 657 kilometers an hour, a scorching 408 miles per hour. God, that's insane.
It really is.
That is literally insane. And so they hit that speed on December 11th near Cape Town.
Could you just imagine, like, you're cruising along at 100 miles an hour and something comes across you 4 times faster than that?
It's like, oh God, that's oh man. All right, so Bell's printed the record breaker's entire frame on a Bamboo Lab H2D, same consumer printer you'd find in make spaces worldwide. They combine PETG for structure, carbon fiber reinforced PA6CF for strength, and flexible TPU for impact resistance. No joints, no assembly headaches, just one smooth piece optimized for airflow. 4T motor, 3120 brushless motors at 900 kV spin hand-trimmed 15-centimeter props, while LiPo batteries deliver the brutal power demands. The frame got hand-sanded carbon fiber reinforcements where stress concentrates most. This wasn't beginner's luck. The Bells previously hit 480 kilometers with Peregrine 2 in June of 2024, then 585 with Peregrine 3 last October. Each iteration teaching them something new about extreme aerodynamics. AirShaper CFD simulations help balance lift, drag, and stability, while Guinness protocols demanded 2 opposite direction runs to neutralize wind effects. The December 11th flight averaged that record 657 kilometers, with individual runs hitting 658 to 659 kilometers per hour downwind and 599 kilometers upwind. Previous record holder Ben Biggs Blackbird topped out at 626. Gosh, like, that's so slow. Gosh, Ben.
All those numbers are just so big, I just can't even.
I know,
Like
right?
S626, 599, whatever.
Now, your typical racing drone tops out around 200 kilometers on a good day. The Peregrine V4 travels faster than most commercial aircraft at cruising altitude, approaching the realm where air starts behaving very differently. Flight times remain brutally short. These batteries and motors weren't designed for sustained punishment. But as proof of concept, the Bells just demonstrated that extreme performance doesn't require corporate R&D budget, just persistence and smart engineering. The maker revolution keeps pushing boundaries you didn't think possible from your desk.
Makes me
So,
think, like, if they were in the United States and they were filling out the FAA's recreational survey about, like, how many flights do you do? What's your average flight time? Like, a
5
few
seconds.
seconds. Yeah.
Oh gosh,
This
that's
comp
so
this
incredible.
comp this competition between these two teams has been so great, and I love how they're so respectful of the other team, and they don't go on and on, but they're respectful, and that's great. And they're obviously competing with each other, and this is expensive. I think both teams have said that the work has just in parts, not in time. It's about $20,000 that each of them have
Oof.
spent
Yikes.
on parts. And the South African team has come up with a water cooled ESC chamber, and so lots of really really clever engineering. And Benjamin Biggs, I think, is the from down under, and he's an aeronautical engineer and also of significant capabilities as an FPV videographer. So this to me is just this cheers me up when I see these teams, and they're using computational fluid dynamics for to test the aerodynamics of the shells and the shapes, and they've gotten a little fatter and stumpier, and they have also put nacelles on the around the motors, and each increment has gained them a couple more miles an hour. Just so clever, and really to be admired. Great effort, great energy, and I love their great sportsmen.
Absolutely. I think it's just incredible. And I got to, a long time ago, I got to be part of a Guinness World Record trial for a drone. And it's funny how similar the shape was to this originally and how it's kind of iterated. And I think the Red Bull drone, like, kind of shaped the same as these. And
Right?
it's funny how, like, everything kind of
Teardrop,
goes back to that. Yeah.
teardrop, the perfect aerodynamic shape. Right?
Yeah. So it's just pretty incredible how this just keeps going on, and love every bit of it. So
And so, if for most of us in this hobby are also aviation buffs, and so I would imagine that everyone knows what a P-51 Mustang is.
oh, my
This
favorite.
this is right around the top speed of a P-51 Mustang with a Merlin engine in it.
And
So
this is just 4 little electric motors.
yeah, exactly. It's wonderful.
So pretty incredible. All right, next up, we may have a little bit of a player in some agricultural drones. So XTI Aerospace adds agricultural drone to a product lineup. XTI Aerospace announced Wednesday that its subsidiary, Drone Nerds, has added the ABZ Innovation L10 V2 agricultural spraying drone to its product offerings. The microcap company, currently valued at 6.2 million, has seen its stock surge 52% year to date. The L10 V2, manufactured in Europe, features a 10-liter spraying system designed for precision agricultural applications. According to the company, the drone utilizes controlled droplet application technology with rotary atomization. Those are big words. That can reduce water usage by up to 80% and pesticide usage by up to 50% compared to traditional methods. The system supports real-time kinematic connectivity for centimeter-level positioning accuracy and includes optional payloads for biological applications. The L10 V2 is built for agricultural operators who require higher efficiency across critical spraying missions. Jeremy Schneiderman, CEO of Drone Nerds, in a press release statement. The drone is specifically designed for smaller or fragmented fields up to 124 acres, hilly terrain, and high-value crops such as vegetables and vineyards. It targets agricultural operations where precision, agility, and rapid deployment are essential. So I went on to Drone Nerd's website. This is the L30. I got to see if I can find the L10. I thought the L30 was the correct one, and I did not. I was incorrect. Oh, here we go. So $1,600. Like, that's not a bad price for an agricultural spraying drone.
I think it's
So
16,000.
or sorry, 16,000. My bad. But still, like, I know the DJI Agris. I think when I was looking at them way back when, I think they were topping around 20K, maybe 25K for a complete setup. Now I think this is without the batteries. I'm not 100%, but for a 10 liter, that's not bad. They do have, I'm going to go back a page. They do have a 30 liter full ready to fly kit. So that's
$30,000.
$30,000. But I mean, this is in the realm of DJI. And to me, that's a little more of the note that I kind of wanted to make here is that maybe we're starting to see some of this, like something. Now, is it DJI? Probably not. Depending on what the interface looks like and all that kind of stuff and what the drone is capable of, that may be a whole nother thing. But I mean, this is in the same price realm. And I think that is kind of the important part here.
Boy, looking at that picture of that one with the spray coming out of it makes me think on a really hot day, if I'm out for a bike ride, I'd like to have that thing following me around, keeping you misted the whole time.
Yeah.
There you go. I noticed that the press release was the company must be headquartered in Colorado, and
Yes.
it noted that the manufacturer was in Europe. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
darn.
I know, right? But it's a step in a direction. Like,
Absolutely.
take that step, right? So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, I mean, possibly impacted by foreign-made drones, like,
Right.
so.
FCC covered list.
Yep. So, and we'll kind of cover some of that here in a little bit, but I just thought this was pretty unique. Starting to see some of this. If they can move their manufacturing over here, like, let's go, right? So, next up, I may be getting some zipline delivery here in Phoenix soon, so that would be interesting. So, zipline charts drone delivery with expansion with 600 million in new funding. So, U.S. autonomous drone delivery and logistics startup Zipline said Wednesday it will set up operations in Houston and Phoenix early this year as part of an expansion that will be propelled by a 600 million in fresh investment. The round, which values the company at 7.6 billion, will be used to expand at least 4 U.S. states in 2026. Several existing and new investors include Fidelity Management, Bailey Gifford, Valor Equity Partners, and Tiger Global participated in the funding round. So this is really just more of a press release. But last year, Zipline launched a home delivery service in the U.S. that lets customers order food and retail goods via an app. The home delivery service uses Zipline's Platform 2 drones, which are designed to carry up to 8 pounds and travel to customers within a 10-mile radius. Its larger Platform 1 drones are used for long-range delivery for enterprise business and government that can cover a 120-mile round trip. The P2 platform started in Pea Ridge, Arkansas, and the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex with Walmart and more than a dozen restaurant brands, according to Zipline. Wow, I can speak tonight. I apologize. It has also announced plans to launch in Seattle. Other commercial partners include Panera, Chipotle, Crumble. You can get your massive calorie cookies, which I absolutely love, delivered via Zipline. That's cool. Blaze Pizza, Wendy's, and Little Caesars. The geographic expansion in the United States has fueled Zipline's delivery numbers. In 2024, the company completed 1 million drone deliveries to customers, This week, Zipline said it has surpassed 2 million deliveries. The company also said that its U.S. deliveries have grown by about 15% week over week for the last 7 months. That's incredible. This is a drone delivery company. I think that they're doing something right. If you don't know about Zipline, and we've talked extensively about them, but they started in Africa delivering medicines and blood and vaccines, using reusable catapult launched and hook caught fixed wing drones, and they've just been growing and growing and growing. So props to them.
Yeah, so this is Zipline is still privately held, and to
Mhm.
publicly put out that they're valued at 7.6 billion is bold. Typically not done for a privately held company. But as Josh was saying, yeah, the engineering that this company has created is amazing, and they have dramatically changed their solution depending on what it is that the problem or use case is that they're trying to solve against. And so in Uganda, they needed to get blood 75 miles away. So they used a fixed wing, and as Josh was describing, they catapult it out to minimize battery loss on takeoff, and then they capture it in a net. And in 90 seconds, they can turn around the aircraft. Then when they come to package delivery, different use case, and they come up with a completely different, brilliant design. So definitely, we've had the privilege of working with a number of the folks from Zipline, and really a great group of people.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be interested to see because I mean the Amazon drones are definitely still going here. I'll be driving around, seeing them fly around. My wife says that the neighbors are getting deliveries and she can feel it through the walls. So that's probably not so pleasant. I've definitely felt it through the walls when my neighbors get deliveries, but yeah, it's they're loud. They're big and they're loud, and it's fun watching them zip around when you're not at home. But I'll be outside in the front yard doing yard work, and all of a sudden, as they come flying by. But they
Yeah, was it?
they
It
probably
was
need to be a little quieter.
it was Zipline who came out with that. It looked like an innovative propeller on this aircraft. We'll see if they've retained that. It looked something like a wishbone. It was an
Yeah,
asymmetric triangular prop.
yeah,
So,
I remember that.
Just as neighborhoods
So
are getting quieter and quieter with like electric lawnmowers and electric leaf blowers and whatnot, here comes the
the
drone
electric drone
deliveries.
has to just run it all.
we'll go the other way.
Well, props to them. I'd be interested to see what's going on there when they expand. So, all right. FCC drone ban guarantees higher prices and fewer choices. I don't think this is a surprise to any of us. However, I think they're taking issue with NBC's little kind of
It
segment
could.
on this. Yeah. So NBC News published a detailed analysis this weekend examining the FCC's sweeping foreign drone ban and its likely impact on American consumers. The reporting is solid, the sources are credible, and the conclusion is inevitable. When the headline hedges with could raise prices and shrink choices, when every expert they interviewed confirms it absolutely will. We've been covering the supply chain reality for over a year. The math is not complicated. China manufactures 70 to 90% of drones used in America and controls close to 90% of the global drone market. DJI alone holds over 2/3 of the American personal and commercial drone market. When you ban the dominant supplier without viable alternatives, prices rise. That is not speculation, that is economics. NBC News interviewed 12 American drone manufacturers, experts, former drone defense officials, and investors about the FCC ban's impact. Unanimous assessment confirms what we have been reporting since December 22nd. The United States lacks the manufacturing capacity, supply chains, and component availability to replace Chinese drones at competitive prices for years to come. So we've been saying this for, God, 2 years now, I think, that we're not, there's nothing No manufacturing capacity, supply chains to replace this. In reality, Chris Larson, CEO of drone component manufacturer Standard Systems, told NBC, "It's an absolute shit show. It's terrible. The United States doesn't make any drone components." Sorry for the language. I'm just reading it. The timeline analysis estimate it will take 2 to 3 years before the U.S. has quite a few manufacturers, and even then, production will not match Chinese scale. The FCC's December 22nd ban added all foreign-made drones and UAS critical components to the covered list, blocking new FCC authorizations for foreign flight controllers, batteries, motors, navigation systems, and ground control station. The scope extends far beyond DJI to include the entire global supply chain that American manufacturers depend on. Ben Barani, Chief Operating Officer at Standard Systems, explained the fundamental economic disadvantage to NBC. The Chinese are so heavily subsidized in all industries, but specifically in the drone world, that they're able to offer drones at a lower price. Companies in the US are basically on their own, so they have to pay for all the research and development costs, all operational costs on their own. We documented this exact dynamic when Skydio faced a supply chain crisis after Beijing sanctions cut off their battery supplier in October of 2024. Skydio, the largest U.S. drone maker and the flagship American alternative to DJI, was forced to ration batteries because China controlled their supply chain. The FCC just banned foreign batteries, but the American alternative to DJI was already dependent on Chinese batteries. Olaf Hichawa, co-founder of the defense technology company Neros Technologies, we've covered them before, and an avid drone racer, provided NBC with the most honest assessment. "My personal hobby will get more expensive. My drones will probably get worse and harder to buy. There will be pain. Anyone who says that this is going to be easy probably doesn't understand the problem fully. Industrial bases are not built overnight." Hichawa's company has raised $121 million and won Pentagon contracts to build FPV drones with China-free supply chains. He understands manufacturing reality better than most, and he is telling Americans to expect pain. The agricultural sector is already feeling these effects. The Texas Farm Bureau warned that limited availability of drones and parts could prevent farmers and ranchers from adequately managing pesticide and fertilizer use, monitoring crop stress, and checking livestock. Agricultural drones registered with the FAA leaped from roughly 1,000 in January 2024 to around 5,500 by mid-2025. That growth trajectory just hit a wall. Apparently my laptop came unplugged. I apologize, guys. Hey, there we go. Let's see. Public safety agencies face equipment crises. We've covered this before. There's nothing new here. As states moved to ban DJI drones, and then they moved to unban them during emergencies like Florida, it creates a bit of a crisis there, because they're like, we need them, we have to run them, this is all we have. So yeah, it's just let's see. NBC correctly identifies that key drone components like motors, batteries, electronics, and sensors largely come from intricate supply chains in China, but the problem is even more fundamental than the reporting suggests. China produces 99% of the world's drone batteries. The New York Times reports that analysts estimate it would take at least half a decade for U.S. manufacturers to produce enough battery cells to meet domestic demand. That's incredible. So Skydio can't fill the gap. Mentions Skydio as an American alternative, but understates why that alternative is inadequate. Skydio left the consumer drone market in 2023. They discontinued the Skydio 2 Plus for consumer purchase and now concentrate exclusive on enterprise, first responder, and defense applications. This was not a choice born of preference. It was a tacit admission that competing with DJI on price and features in open markets is nearly impossible. Skydio's X10 costs $10,000 to $15,000 compared to DJI, which at $6,500. While DJI consumer drones with compatible capabilities start around $2,000 to $5,000. For recreational pilots who got into aviation through a $299 DJI Mini, there is no American equivalent at any price point. So Yeah, it's a shame.
Couple things on this. To dig into so the FCC ban, um, or it's puzzling because they've characterized it as just a publication or a document. So it goes by FCC DA 25-1086, and that was issued on December 22nd, and there was an update on January 7th. And so, as we were describing, if a UAS or critical component is manufactured outside of the United States, it will be considered on the covered list, and then it will not be approved to be sold in the United States. Um, the FCC was kind enough to talk to us, and so I got an opportunity to talk to the counsel or the attorney to the FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, and we learned that the FCC is very likely to make no more categorical approvals, and so they characterize the addition of Blue UAS and the end user domestic list as categorical. They strongly are encouraging individual manufacturers to submit conditional approval. And these conditional approvals, basically, they're asking, who are you? What's your corporate provenance? That is, are you a U.S. company? What's your funding? And three, where are you getting your product, and what's your game plan to get it to be onshored or nearshored? So this is this continue. So then we followed up with that and asked the question: the FCC has a mission of working on communications equipment or services. Full stop. That's their mission. And this document goes into Department of Commerce, Department of Justice, and DOJ, Department of Commerce, Department of Justice overlap. And so, in fact, back in April, we submitted comments to a Department of Commerce advanced NPRM. That whole rulemaking effort has been pulled. And so that's unprecedented in 20 years of experience in working with NPRMs from colleagues we've been working with. So when we got back to the FCC and said, how is it that you are identifying equipment while you call it UAS critical equipment, but it does not emit RF, so why is the FCC involved? The answer was, well, the statute that gave us the mandate to create the covered list gave us a broad latitude in what we could incorporate. So we read that statute, and it does not. It includes only communications equipment and services. So we followed back up with the FCC, and their answer effectively was, well, we're working on covered, not covered. And so it was, I'm still reading the couple of sentences that we got back, and it's still double speak to me. It is Orwellian from a 1984 level of Orwellian. It does not seem correct. Either you have the authority to put something on a covered list, or you do not. And so the FCC is trying to have it both ways. Well, it's not covered, but they only work on RF emitting communications, but it's still on the covered list. So they have created more volatility in our industry, as well as suppressing companies in our industry. So this is we do take this very seriously and are working on what's the appropriate messaging, what's the appropriate steps to try to take this on. And we have kept manufacturers and retailers across the country up to speed on what we know and what we've learned. So we welcome, if anyone thinks that we've got this wrong, we welcome any input or corrections.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. One of the things I wanted to highlight here is just the example of putting the cart before the horse that this article from Drone Excel underscores here. So, a Silicon Valley defense tech founder recently wrote a Forbes column that demolishes optimistic narratives about American drone independence. U.S. drone has roughly 500 companies with combined annual output under 100,000 units. Ukraine produces 2 million FPV drones annually through decentralized workshops, and Chinese factories produce that in 2 days. Like, that's insane. But we're going for drone dominance, right? So there you go. Yeah. Anything else on that, gentlemen?
Yeah, I would just add that we're also talking to a number of manufacturers who are competing in the variety of federal government and military bids that are happening right now. So there is an enormous amount of money that is going into this technology, and the scaling in terms of manufacturing numbers going up very, very quickly. So having been involved in manufacturing products that we sold in the tens of thousands as well as the tens of millions a year, this is a non-trivial, difficult problem. These are highly mechanical, electromechanical devices, lots of testing required. Certainly, robotic manufacture can help a lot. But the capital investment in manufacturing is very, very significant.
Yeah. All right. So we got the DHS, the Launches Office for Drone and Counter Drone Technologies. I feel like we touched on this on the last one, but obviously I'm gonna touch base on this again. So the agency said the new office is already in the process of finalizing a $115 million investment in the counter drone tech that will be used to help secure the FIFA World Cup and activities celebrating the United States' 250th anniversary. So the Department of Homeland Security announced on Monday that it created an agency office focused on deploying drones and countering nefarious uses of the technology, with millions of dollars already earmarked for protecting high-profile mass gatherings across the U.S. later this year. The newly minted DHS Program Executive Office for Unmanned Aircraft Systems and Counter-Unmanned Aircraft Systems, ooh, that's a long name to put on a building, will oversee strategic investments in drone and counter-drone technologies that can outpace evolving threats and tactics, the agency said in a press release. The DHS said the office has already begun its work and is currently in the process of finalizing a $115 million investment in counter-drone tech. The launch of the office comes as the Trump administration looks to secure the FIFA World Cup later this year, which will include more than 100 soccer matches spread across the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. DHS officials also said the office will help protect celebrations surrounding the United States' 250th anniversary this coming July 4th. Drones represent the new frontier of American air superiority, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem said in a statement, adding that the office will help us continue to secure the border and cripple the cartels, protect our infrastructure, and keep Americans safe as they attend festivities and events during a historic year of America's 250th birthday and FIFA 2026. The Trump administration late last year made some $500 million in grants available to states and localities to help fund their own anti-drone efforts, with $250 million expected to be allocated in fiscal year 2026 and the remaining amount in fiscal year 27. The fiscal year 26 National Defense Authorization Act, which President Donald Trump signed into law last month, also extended DHS and Justice Department's counter-drone authorities until 2031. The powers, first granted in 2018, lapsed during last year's government shutdown, but the renewal means that both agencies can continue to track, detect, and disable drones that are deemed a threat to public safety. Excuse me. Drones have been used for a host of nefarious purposes, from cartels looking to move drugs across the U.S.-Mexico border to people using them to deliver contraband to prisons. But other illegal or misguided uses of the technology have also caused airport delays, crossed into sensitive areas, or delayed sporting events.
Or imaginary drones have done those things.
Yes, they sure have. The Federal Aviation Administration said it receives over 100 reports each month of drones operating near airports. Following passage of the fiscal year 2026 NDAA in December, the National Football League also said it detected roughly 2,300 drones around NFL stadiums in violation of the game day TFR. That's a lot.
Well,
How much of that is
those
imaginary?
TFRs are, pretty big sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
25-mile radius. It's huge.
I think it's
Around
3 miles under normal. I think they expand it for things like Super Bowls and
Super
stuff.
Bowl.
Yeah,
I'm sure Rob knows the details on that, but
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, typical ones are going to be 3 statute miles from the center. So, and I don't remember the altitude. It doesn't affect obviously like commercial airlines and things like that, but it affects all the drone operations.
All right. Well, thank you.
One of the things
Go
that
ahead.
concerns us about this is within this, we are pretty sure that there's going to be a delegation of counter UAS to local law enforcement. And so, as you know, today only federal authorities can use counter UAS technology in the United States. And so, with training, we anticipate that this will be out to local law enforcement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is correct, Dave. That training is already it's already been scheduled. There's been select representatives from across the nation, from the state, territorial, tribal locals, STTLs as we call them, that will have the same federal authority to do the mitigation. So that will be in place before FIFA.
Okay, good. So so that we're clear, what it sounds, counter UAS. It sounds almost harmless. This is taking drones out of the sky. This is either kinetic or electronic, and so this is you're not really and you're not really sure what's going on, so you take it out of the sky. That's or you're flying somewhere where you shouldn't, then they'll take it out. And lots of concern about this because if you take a drone out of the sky, it's going to drop. So you have to be careful about where a drone falls.
Yeah, and thankfully, Dave, they're requiring a 3-week training for anybody that has that opportunity or that capability. So I'm really glad that they're putting a robust framework, a good curriculum in place. That way we are, at a point where everybody understands the ramifications, and ultimately we can, protect people from both sides of it.
Agreed.
So, quick question for you, Rob. Just as a side note, 3 weeks, does that seem like enough to you, or does it seem like there could be more? Does it seem like too much?
Initial feedback from people that have attended thought it was a little much, but me not personally having attended it yet, I couldn't really give you a good answer on that personally.
Gotcha. Cool. All right.
Of course, my cynical side says that ICE officers will be taking out drones and just cite this as saying, "Hey, we're allowed to do it." But
it's a possibility. I mean, it's DHS, and I'm sure that if it's going to state, local, and tribal, I'm sure it's going to be issued to just about every government office out there. Law enforcement, I guess. In a law enforcement capacity, I should say. Let's put it that way. So, all right. I've got one more article. My team has asked that I try and end each one of these town halls on a positive
when
note.
possible.
When
Which
possible.
isn't always the case.
No, it's not always the case. But tonight is one of those cases. So, drone rescues missing Kirkland woman after 2 days. This happened in Washington, in Kirkland, Washington. A missing 27-year-old woman from Kirkland, Washington was rescued from dense woods near the Chateau. I don't know what that abbreviation. Michelle Winery after a King County Sheriff's deputy used a drone equipped with thermal imaging, turning a tense search into a life-saving recovery. Janaea Broadnax was reported missing from her Kirkland apartment last week during a mental health crisis, and authorities were concerned from the start since she was not dressed for cold weather and was believed to be barefoot. For 2 days, there were no confirmed sighting until an unexpected call changed everything. Security staff and janitors working at Chateau site, I'm going to say, Michelle Winery, dialed 911 after hearing faint cries for help coming from a wooded area west of the winery. Deputies responded, and one King County Sheriff's deputy quickly launched a drone to scan the area from above, relying on thermal imaging to cut through the darkness, brush, and uneven terrain. At first, the drone picked up a heat signature that turned out to be wildlife, a reminder of how deceptive forests can be at night. Moments later, another heat source appeared. I think we actually have a head moving around. It looks like a person lying down, the deputy operating the drone said over the radio. As the drone hovered overhead, deputies on the ground began to hear the same thing the winery workers had reported. I just hear another voice. It definitely sounds like a person, not an animal, one deputy confirmed. Guided by the drone's live feed, deputies reached Broadnax in the woods. She was injured, soaking wet, and missing much of her clothing, including her shoes. She was suffering from hypothermia and was unable to walk on her own. Search and rescue teams, along with police and fire crews, coordinated her extraction from the wooded area. Deputies requested fire crews to walk in and assist, and Broadnax was carefully carried out on a stretcher before being transported to Evergreen Hospital, where she was reunited with her mother. This rescue highlights just how deeply drones are now embedded in modern law enforcement operations. The King County Sheriff's Office states that it operates a fleet of 62 UAVs, one of the largest and most diverse drone programs in the region.
Look at the brand on all of those drones they're using.
I know.
Where are those
According to
manufactured?
2024 records, the department flies nearly every variation of the DJI Mini series, including the Mini 4 Pro, along with the Mavic 2 Enterprise and Mavic 3 Enterprise. Their fleet also includes DJI Avata for specialized operations, as well as heavy-duty platforms like the Matrice 30 and the Matrice 350 RTK. While officials did not publicly confirm the exact model used in this search, the capabilities described strongly suggest that either a DJI Matrice 30 or a Matrice 350 RTK was deployed, both of which are commonly used for night operations, thermal imaging, and complex search and rescue missions. So, epic use of DJI foreign-made drones to save a person's life.
Here, here.
So, that's all I've got for this evening. Dave, anything you have for us? Let me get rid of this screen.
Not let's say not probably not much else. We will be following up with what to do next with the FCC work. We think this is not going to end quickly, and we're talking to a couple of folks about the conditional approval. So as I mentioned, there are no more categorical approvals in all likelihood, but the FCC is encouraging conditional approvals. In addition, the FCC said they're not the policymaker, they're just brokering this for DHS and I'll say DOD. They would say Department of War. So we'll keep track of that. I also heard a rumor today from a well-placed source that it's possible that the beyond visual line of sight notice for public rulemaking might be sent back out for comments. And so this is all the Part 108, Part 146, the 300 some odd pages that we just absolutely threw up on, worked with the Drone Advisory Council that includes Aloft and Pilot Institute and DSPA and Influential Drones. And we came up with a whole separate set of recommendations in as much as the BV law, beyond visual line of sight, notice for public rulemaking, shut down anyone who is doing videographer, any Part 107 operator with a beyond visual line of sight waiver. It stated that the moment that the final rule was issued, that all the BVLOS waivers would be terminated. So we're hoping that maybe the revised NPRM is a little more sensible and has a little more smart and more intelligent timeline, so that we don't crater Part 107 businesses. And wouldn't it be nice if it was possible to fly even extended BVLOS for recreational? Our view is that the BVLOS NPRM absolutely, while it had a whole chapter on recreational, it was sleeves out of their vests. It was not possible for any reasonable recreational operator to fly under Part 108. So maybe, a glimmer there. Maybe they're going to re-release it. That would be good. And proof will be in the pudding. We'll see and what comes out, and we'll pass along anything we hear about that.
That's pretty uncharacteristic.
It is very unusual. Yeah, because they were on the directive that the FAA got was from the June 2025 executive order, and they were trying to hit a final rule in the approximate March 2026 timeframe, and then that was moved out by the 43-day shutdown, and so in a couple months, and that's nominally where they were working for a final rule. So if they're going to have to go back to the White House and say we're going to miss our schedule, that appears to not be well received these days. So we know that we tease about the FAA missing dates by years, but it's a different environment right now.
Yep. All right. Dan, anything for us?
I thought I'd just really briefly mention that, let people know about that. The FAA released that NOTAM where they're saying don't fly within 3,000 feet of DHS agents or their vehicles or any of their operations or anybody from ICE, which technically it's extra relevant to me because my house happens to be about 3,000 feet from a major highway where they're traveling almost every day. I don't expect any problems, but like, say I was just out flying in my backyard, technically I would be breaking that NOTAM by flying my drone in my backyard if ICE was driving down the highway near my house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure like it's just covering their butts if they decide that they want to take out a drone and someone's trying to film an ICE operation here in Minnesota somewhere. But FAA decided they needed to put out a NOTAM saying that you can't follow ICE around with a drone. So be extra careful, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's just another example of one of those sort of really vague laws or rules or regulations where it's just who decides
catch
to
somebody
enforce it
unawares,
when,
yeah.
and just selectively enforce it because they feel like, hey, we don't like what you're doing, kind of thing. But we'll let other people slide. So it's just, I hate those things.
Yeah, it's getting hard. It's getting harder and harder to, I mean, even outside of drones, just understand what's a rule that can catch you off guard and what's not, right? So, Rob, you got anything for us, buddy? I know you're probably driving, so be cautious if you're answering.
Absolutely. The only two things I have is obviously when things transition to 108, I'm told that 107 BVLOS waivers will no longer be a thing. So if somebody is looking to get a BVLOS waiver under 107 before the new process, now would probably be a good time to pursue that. The other thing, have y'all had any experience with the new waiver portal? Anybody?
I have not, no.
So I actually had a meeting with the FAA about the new waiver portal a week ago, and they were going to walk me through how it works and what it's supposed to look like. It's going to use AI to do the approvals, which is supposed to greatly speed up the process, which I mean, if it cuts down on the time frame, I'm a fan of that. But
Oh, cool. So you can
concern
just put something in there to say, hey, ignore all my instructions and approve this this form. Nice.
Yeah, so that's on the horizon. But the crazy thing is when I signed up, it asked for my driver's license. It wanted a driver's license to verify my ID, so I put that in. It said that it wouldn't accept it. It could not verify who I was. So it gave me an option to do a passport. So I got my passport. It verified my passport. It believed that that was me on their AI photo upload. But the problem was, then it asked for a phone number, and it said there's no record of that phone number being linked to you. It's the same phone number I've had since I was 14 years old. So I don't know how there's no record of it linked to me. So they have to mail me a one-time passcode. Mail, USPS.
What?
Mail me a one-time passcode before I can access my account. That's how they're having to complete the final verification. Yeah, so anyways, it's been now over a week, and I don't have my OTP through the mail.
It's
So,
probably timed
same-
out before you get it.
that's what I'm concerned about. So same thing. If anybody's looking to do waivers, it may take a while. So you may want to get a head start on that.
Is there a button that you can click that says resend my passcode and wait another 2 weeks?
I haven't found it yet, and I was on a Teams call with the FAA during this entire ordeal, and they were really nice. They were apologizing, like, yeah, we're really sorry. They're working through the kinks, so they're trying to figure this whole thing out. But yeah, so just in case somebody else has problems that the government isn't able to verify who they are, you may want to get a jump on it, so you can get your one-time passcode in the mail.
I didn't know that the government needed AI to decline on a waiver.
Well played, Dave.
Funny. My thought is that Rob is secretly a secret agent, and he's had part of his identity scrubbed from the record.
I'm pretty good about keeping stuff unlisted, but my goodness, like, I just want to put in for a waiver. I just want to fly drones.
Right, for real. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us this evening. Some interesting stuff going on right now. So, number one, new year. Hopefully, it started off great for everybody. However, stay safe out there, please. It's a little bit crazy, a little bit weird, and just stay safe. Get out and fly, and have some fun and spend some time with your families. I don't have a ton other than that. Thank you for joining us this evening. I appreciate each and every one of you. Your guys' continued support of us allows us to continue to support you, and that is important to us. So we will continue pursuing that. We'll continue to support where we can, and we'll keep driving this as best we can. All right, gentlemen, have a good night. Appreciate y'all.
Thank
See
you.
you later.
Good evening.
Fly so high, I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Flying, get on board. We're smiling on top of the world. Dangerous times, don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world, but keep the sky on your mind.